Hi, my name's Jeff, and I'm joined today by Bradley, my Vice President and Corporate Controller.
Hi.
My background, I am Executive Vice President of Operations and CFO for a publicly traded company. But in my former background, I am a CPA. My story comes from the ethics side. At one point in our relationship, we both worked for a company. That company had been bought out by a larger corporation. It was a division. The total corporation was about $4 billion, and our division was right at
We're about 400 million.
about $400 million of that piece. Our division got merged with another division, and we became a frozen division of that corporation. During that process, we were the only management team, if you will, to survive the merger. The entire new team came in from the acquiring company. Right. That new team consisted of a president, a VP of operations. I maintained the CFO title of that division. Well, it wasn't 3 months into the new job that I received a capital spending request. That request was for the purchase of a new equipment for a line. That equipment line was the request was roughly $340,000. Well, okay, I signed it and sent it on. Probably 2 weeks later, I received the same request. That request came again. I looked at it and thought, that's kind of strange.
You'd already signed the first one, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So I took it to the president of the division, my new boss, and I said, Jerry, is this right? If I already signed this? And Jerry politely says, oh no, Jeff. Kind of the way we've done things around here before in the past, just to streamline the process, mind you, is we break up capital spending requests into buckets. And that way we avoid the corporate guys. We don't have to send it up north to our parent company, and we can expedite the process. I said, oh, okay, that makes sense, Jerry. So I guess you sign it, and then I'll sign it and just send it up? Oh, sure, let me get that. He signs his name down to the bottom of the RA. Well, I went back to my office and I thought to myself, that's kind of strange because the threshold for his signature was $400,000. And that made 2 requests just under that threshold for a project that it seemed to be more. So what I did was I went to Brad and a couple of others in the accounting group and I said, hey, what's the total value of this project that's coming our way? And it ended up there was actually another request in the hopper that I was going to get in about 2 weeks to sign.
Right.
So the total value was just under $1 million for this equipment.
Right.
So I said to myself, well, Self, this doesn't smell right. So what I did was I called the corporate office and said, hey, by the way, you guys know that they're kind of cutting requests in buckets so we don't have to send them up to you guys to review? Yeah, no, we don't know that. What's going on? I said, well, I've got this request sitting on my desk. I've already signed one, mind you. And it's already up there. And they pulled it and they said, yeah, we see that. I said, well, I got another one here for the same amount, for the same equipment that's coming your way if I sign it. I said, that's strange. So sure enough, we investigated, and they had done this several times prior to our acquisition, because remember, they were a division of this company. And it turns out that they had done it 4 or 5 times. And I started working directly with the corporate guys at this point. What they were basically wanting me to do was set up this president and make sure that they had all their ducks in a row, and this next capital spending request that he signed, send it up to them. So I did that. And it wasn't 2 weeks later they called and said, hey, we're coming down. We want you to come into the office and talk to the president with us. And they did. And sure enough, that day they escorted him to his car, which, by the way, was a company-paid car. They drove the car back to his house. They got back his company computer and put it back in his former company car and drove it back to the office. Now, mind you, we were combined companies. We were about $1 billion of frozen foods, and so this is not insignificant. The total company was a privately held frozen food company of about $4 billion up north, and after the process, I started looking down the RA, and you had several signatures on this. And sure enough, the Vice President of Operations was involved. The former CFO, mind you, I took his role. He had been moved into a sales position to run our sales department. He was involved in his prior role. So, needless to say, those individuals quietly resigned over the course of the next 2 months, one voluntarily, one involuntarily. So that just goes to show you that ethics runs all the way to the top. It doesn't start with the little stuff, it starts at the top. And if the tone's not set at the top, if you really don't have the courage and the integrity to do what's right, it will come back and bite you no matter how high up in the organization you think you are. That's it.